grant a piece of grace maybe like $10, so that is incredible. But as a man of his word, we've got Father Dan here to compete in the Hot Ones Challenge. But we're also joined by our good friend, some may call him Zacchaeus from the Bible. The short man, Father Paul, will be our host tonight. He's back. So I'm going to invite Father Paul and Father Dan up, and we'll get this going. You guys want to introduce yourselves and we'll get started?
Hey guys, I'm Father Paul Clark, and I'm going to be your host for the evening. And for those of you who are not familiar with Hot Ones, we're going to try as best we can to follow the same sort of pattern of the YouTube show. I just want to, for legal purposes, say that any likeness of persons or phrases or anything is complete coincidence. Please don't sue us, Hot Ones. But I'm excited to be here hosting, and our guest today on the show is Father Dan Burrs. Welcome to your parish. I think we're supposed to sit. Let's just jump right in because we've got 5 hot sauces that we're going to go through. And you're familiar with how the show works.
I just watched my first episode this afternoon.
So this is just conversation. It's just interview. We have done a little digging into your life prior to being here with us at Newman. We've contacted your siblings, past brothers in the seminary, and a few other sources to just learn a little bit more about you as our pastor. And yeah, I have some questions that we're going to enter into. First off, how are you feeling about this challenge? How are you with heat?
I hate heat. I'm cold. But I've never really been tested. So we'll see.
On this show, Hot Ones, the questions and the wings get spicier and hotter as we go along, so you won't be cold for long. Just to give us a gauge of where you are with your spice comfort. If you were to go to Taco Bell and get a taco, what sauce packet are you going to put on that taco?
The least spicy sauce packet they have.
So none. You've never put sauce on a taco before, apparently. Okay, well, we're in for a treat then tonight. I'm going to assume that these are in the order that we're going in. So we're going to start with the classic hot sauce, chili maple. Perfect for kind of the cooler weather. So go ahead and you just put a little dab onto one of your chicken wings. We have water and we have milk. If the spice gets too much for us, I think there's also a trash can somewhere that I requested. So, I put way more than a dab, yeah. I'm ready. Just take a bite. It looks like it didn't bother you, so on the show you can go in for a double bite to show that you're mastering it. If you need to put a little more on, feel free to. Fair enough. Okay, so our first question, so as we kind of were hearing stories about you and especially your time in seminary, of course, we know how smart you are. You make fun of me for never reading books, and I make fun of you for being a nerd, so that's why it worked well living together. But in particular, we were told you spent a lot of time in the library in seminary, especially at Conception. We were told about a time your junior year, in particular, that there was an item that you rolled into the library. Is this ringing a bell at all? Share with us maybe that story.
So this was the seminary, college seminary. It's run by Benedictine monks, right? If you ever know who Benedictine monks are, they're nice people. They're pretty calm, pretty contemplative folks. And they served as our chaplain. So there was a monk on each floor who was kind of like a chaplain for that floor. And there was one particular monk, Father Peter, that we would go in and like rearrange his room when he wasn't there. And one time we decided to try something a little different, and we took a golf cart and we're trying to carry it up the stairwell up to his room, and it just got to be too much, and so we settled for rolling it into the library.
So, would you say that was just on your scale of pranking people? Where did that one rank? Was that maybe your best, your favorite? Is there others that maybe you want to share? Something about, I don't know, maybe goat? Is there a goat?
I'm not sure what's in your head, Father Paul. Better not to guess about that. No, I would say that there was another prank that happened just during my time in the seminary, where there was a May Day. Have you ever heard of May Day? Like the night before May Day is like a big sports event, and the night before May Day, the different buildings would have like wars against each other. And so it was my senior year, they got cut short because people got too rowdy. I'm not sure who was getting too rowdy. And some of the seniors felt like, oh, we're going to go down as the wimpiest class in conception history. And someone hit upon the idea of getting a sheep and putting it in the dean's room. And the dean was deaf in one ear and slept on the other. And so the story goes that they called this person, this family who owned sheep, and said, "Can we borrow a sheep?" And the woman said, "Well, I guess so. Let me check with my husband." And the next thing was, "What are you going to do with it?" "Oh, we won't hurt it. We won't hurt it." So we got the sheep and snuck it into the dean's room, shut the door. The next morning, I got up early, took a shower, was heading down to the field, walked out of my room, and on the other end of the hallway was the dean and a couple of students and a sheep down the hallway. And I picked it up and I handed it back to him, and I said, "Where did that come from?" And his room was pretty nasty. They actually had to replace the carpet. But he didn't find out who did it.
Yes, I love how you started the story saying some other people, but then you said we got the sheep in the middle of the conversation. So that's great. Let's go on. Our next hot sauce is a little tropical. A tropical hot sauce. What's the name of that hot sauce?
Sinai.
It's straight up poison. Excellent. Let's go ahead and put a dab on. It looks like there's going to be hints of maybe mango and some pineapple in this one. We can read the ingredients on the bottle if we're brave enough. It's thick.
Does this mean I don't have to do it? More. All right.
Go. Yeah, apparently it's not with it anymore. The flavor's great on this one. I would endorse it at this point, especially if you like tropical taste. The heat is not too bad at this point. Great moment to remind you and me not to touch our eyes in this process. So next question actually came from a family member. We were curious. We heard a story, and this pertains to kind of life on the farm. Was there a particular barnyard animal that you were attacked by as a child? And if you're bringing up, where did it bite you when it attacked you?
I still bear the scar. So I grew up on a farm, and we had hogs on the farm. And when you had... That's not a picture from my family. But that's about how big a sow is, who had little pigs. And we had weaned the little pigs off the sow, and then some of them got back into the sow. And so I was going into 3rd grade, and we went out to catch the pigs. And I caught one of the pigs. I was standing right on the edge of a big mud hole. And I caught the pig, and the pig started squealing. And the mother came charging from the other side of the pen, and before I knew it, had grabbed a hold of me and knocked me into the mud hole. And my dad was beaten on that sow for a while before. Luckily, the sow wasn't able to get a good grip because of the mud. But by the time he got her off of me, I was completely covered in mud from head to foot and had a little scar on my rear end.
So it makes, yeah, so this is probably why you didn't ever let me get a pet hog at the rectory at this point, or...
I love you.
Oh, thank you. Well, how fatherly of you. All right, we are going to move on to our next hot sauce.
Los Calientes.
Los Calientes. This one is kind of a spicy barbecue hot sauce. I say as I look at the bottle. A lot of healthy pores up here. I'm shaking, actually.
That's kind of barbecue. I keep waiting for the shoe to drop.
No, you're mastering this. That's great. So I want us to go back to some stories from conception, because your friends and classmates were very generous in their stories of you. There's, in particular, I believe, kind of a tradition within a lot of seminaries, but conception as well, of making videos of different kinds. And there are 2 movies in particular that were produced in your time there at Conception Seminary. Didn't do well at the box offices. Do you happen to know the title of maybe what movies your friends would have been referring to?
One was called the Psycho Seminarian, and the other was called the Killer Pumpkin.
What? Like what was the plot of either of those? What were you guys thinking?
What were we thinking? Yeah, the Psycho Seminarian. It was like this. Conception was known as having this great formation program, and so they kind of did a spoof on that with how this psychotic seminarian, weaseled his way into the formation program, and then was like plotting the downfall of students and faculty alike. So it was kind of, we did like, it was kind of a play on a video that the seminary had made trying to promote the seminary. So it was a spoof on that. And then the Killer Pumpkin one was, there was a tiny little town down the road called Pumpkin Center, and they had a big pumpkin patch there. That's about all it was. I don't know if there's many houses in this town, but we played on like a giant pumpkin there. All of a sudden, like came to life and came into the seminary and started attacking seminarians and killing seminarians. Yeah. It was very scary.
I'm going to be honest. My lips are kind of burning, so I wasn't really listening, but I was like noticing like my eyelids are sweating. I just those movies, did you direct them? Yeah, you need to put more on the next time. Where did you star in them? What role did you play in these box office flops?
Yes, I had a role in. I was a big guy. It's a big name back in my time. So I was not the psychotic seminarian, and in the Killer Pumpkin one, I think I was killed. But I had one of those moments where I like rushed into the TV room and like, you know, had a panic attack and we're screaming about how so and so was killed, and you know, and then the pumpkin rolls in and I'm like screeching, and it was very dramatic. Just like my homilies, Father Paul.
Missed a lot of your drama, so I can see it. I can visualize it all. There's a side note for me to share. I assume I'm safe in sharing this. In looking for an image to go along with this particular question. No, there isn't one. Lori, she Googled psychotic seminarian, and actually, like, it was really bad results. So, off the record, all of it. All right, let's go. We're at number 4 already. Obviously, you're not feeling anything?
I'm doing good so far.
Okay, continue to feel nothing, just like you always did when I was a kid. What do we have now for this hot topic?
The chile lengua de fuego, turmeric bomb.
Excellent. I hear that turmeric has a lot of very positive health factors and benefits. I'm not sure when it's mixed in with a bomb, if that still is the case, but the juice has a great color. I'm ready.
How am I going to taste this one? It's kind of more mustard.
This particular sauce is made in Honduras, and half the stuff on the bottle is upside down because I don't like this one at all. Okay, so in this particular question, we're going into a segment that on the show, that this show is not based off of, and is not reproducing. There's a section that's called Explain the Gram, where we go onto Instagram and we find pictures of you that need to be explained, but you're not on social media. So an anonymous source has given us a photo. And so I just want you to look around behind and look at this photo here. An anonymous source. And the look on your face is a little bit of a wince. And I just want you to explain what's going on here. What was this night? What was special here?
So I think I came home from a late night working at Newman with college students probably, and walked into, it was probably like on a Thursday, which was Father Paul's day off, and walked into the TV room, and this movie was playing.
I'm gonna take it over.
And you must have been. You must have been having some hot sauce because you were crying. And I looked at you and said, "Are you okay?" Out of sympathy, you know. And he said, "You just don't get me. You just don't get me."
Not wrong. That was not the story. Allow me to tell it.
Different story.
That happened multiple times. This is not the first time we've cried together. This was my birthday. And I told you I have a tradition of watching High School Musical every year on my birthday. This is to your credit, because you said, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah." And you're like, "Okay." and you actually watched High School Musical with me, I just want to come clean now and say that was a lie. Someone in this room, we don't have spotlights, otherwise we shined it on them, gave the suggestion that I go home and tell you that to see if I could get you to watch High School Musical with me, and it meant a lot that you did. But just wondering, either with High School Musical or just any of the many Disney movies we watched together in the rectory, what was your favorite? What was your favorite movie experience in the rectory?
Yeah, I think it would have to be the Star Wars Christmas special. Has anyone ever seen the Star Wars Christmas special? Yeah. It features a lot of Wookiees who don't speak English, who just kind of warble at each other for like the first 20 minutes of the movie. Brother Paul made me watch it. That was a great experience. Yeah. Sharknado might be a bottom second. Oh, it's not a Disney movie, sorry. Yeah. So, yeah. There was a lot of Disney movies watched at the rectory. We don't have news. We have Disney Plus.
What do you think is, out of all Disney movies, what do you think, which scene from a Disney movie portrays the greatest truth about humanity?
Going deep here, going deep. So, you actually used this one at a E3 talk a few years ago, a clip of it from Moana, where you could probably explain this better than I can, but where Moana, is that her name? The girl, the star? She faces the monster, right? She walks right up to the monster, and who's coming at her to attack her, and she says, you know, I see you. I know that you have been wounded, that you've been hurt, but I see you, and I love you, you know. And in that moment, she kind of restored what had been taken from the monster, and it turned the monster into a beautiful creature again. And so that's the power of not just love, but accepting, seeing the other, and accepting the other for who they are.
It was really mean to make me cry when I can't rub my eyes or anything. I kept doing this and having to refrain. I have two things. I want to make a quick little twist. One of the episodes of Hot Ones with Paul Rudd, they mixed together a bunch of the sauces. Before we do our final dab of sauce, you want to take the four we've already tried and mix them together on our plate and just dip one of the wings in it? Be fun. I want to. Do that? I did, yeah. We also, there was a last minute decision, and we switched out our final dab as well. I'm doing too well on this. You're doing great. I can't remember which ones I put. Yeah, just mix it up too. It's a shame these palettes are in front. You guys can't see how glorious the color is of this. All right. Like it a lot.
How many of you like spicy? How many of you don't?
All right, this is mixed. We've mixed them all together at this point. The smell is awful. The taste is awful too. I have to say that as we're preparing for the last dab, I'm very impressed at how you're doing. When we lived together in the rectory, I would be making food in the kitchen, and if I put salt and pepper on it, he started sweating. And so I don't really understand. This is incredible. Must be the Holy Spirit.
I'm asking for lots of prayer.
I'm excited to be eating spicy food with you in the future because now you have no excuse because we have a whole group of witnesses that you can do this. So our final, oh gosh, the pepper's like exploding over there. We were going to stop halfway with a sauce called the Bomb, which would have been the fifth. This level of spiciness on the show, they go to 10. We jumped to the last dab. So if there are any nursing students or medical personnel in the building, this is going to be important because I'm really nervous about how this one's going to go. You want to read the bottle for us?
Hot Ones, the last dab Apollo, made with the Apollo pepper.
And Apollo, it seems to like be this idea. I mean, it sounds hopeful to me, but I don't know. Maybe it's out of this world. So
The new hottest pepper from Guinness World Record holding chili breeder smoking Ned curry. All right. So what?
I didn't sign up for this, and so I'm like, I was just glaring over at Lori.
Put more on.
I'm in a false sense of security right now.
Yeah, okay. You ready? Ready?
Yeah.
It's like inhaled chlorine from a pool.
Laura, you're more red than I am.
It's not bad. You want to just explain a little what's going on right now?
It is starting to grow. Oh, yes, that's starting to grow. It's continuing to grow. Yeah. Reaching out to the lips. Oh, wow. Reaching the eyes. Yeah. Now I'm crying. It does help to breathe.
Yes. So, for this last dab to really make it, I'm getting a lot of like my body is reacting, and so there's a lot of like stuff building up that makes it hard to. So,
Not going away yet.
You can drink the milk if you want.
Not yet.
Okay. I was told whatever milk is left, we have to drink after, so it turns into the gallon challenge, which is not as fun. So, we are in the season of Advent, and so as for this last dab, not so much a question necessarily, but we wondered if you would be willing. If you would be willing to read for us, I got them out of order. In preparation for Christmas, would you read the genealogy of Jesus? It's on 3 pages, so I'll just hand the next one to you.
Yes, okay, so. Trying to see the book of the genealogy of Jesus. Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Abraham became the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers. Judah became the father of Perez and Zerah, whose mother was Tamar. Perez became the father of Hezron, Hezron the father of Ram, Ram the father of Abinadab, Abinadab became the father of Nahshon, Nahshon the father of Salmon, Salmon the father of Boaz, whose mother was Rahab. Boaz became the father of Obed, whose mother was Ruth.
My lips are on fire.
Obed became the father, and I have not touched it. Obed became the father of Jesse, Jesse the father of David, David became the father of Solomon, whose mother had been the wife of Uriah. Solomon, yeah, you feel my pain. Solomon became the father of Rehoboam, Rehoboam the father of Abijah, Abijah the father of Asaph. More. Asaph became the father of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat the father of Joram. Joram the father of Uzziah. Uzziah became the father of Jotham. Jotham the father of Ahaz. Father of Ahaz, the father of Hezekiah. Hezekiah became the father of Manasseh. Awful. Manasseh the father of Amos. Amos the father of Josiah. Good guy. Josiah became the father of Jeconiah and his brothers at the time of the Babylonian exile, which was a terrible time. After the Babylonian exile, Jeconiah became the father of Shealtiel. Shealtiel, the father of Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel, the father of Abiud. Abiud, the father of Eliakim. Eliakim, the father of Azor. Azor, the father of Zadok. Zadok became the father of Achim. Achim, the father of Eliud. Eliud, the father of Eleazar. Eleazar became the father of Matan. Matan, the father of Jacob. Jacob, the father of Joseph, the husband of Mary. Of her was born Jesus, who is called the Christ. Thus, the total number of generations you can read from Abraham to David is Christmas. 14 generations. From David to Babylonian exile, 14. From the Babylonian exile to the Messiah, 14. I'm so happy to be with you, Father Paul.
All right. Congratulations, Father Dan, on the last dab. Amazing. You have earned this applause. Look over there at the camera, look over there at the camera, look at the camera there, and tell everybody what's going on in your life.
What's going on in my life? Christmas is coming. My mouth is still burning. We're getting pews and thank you all for meeting the challenge.
All right. You take it. Okay. Thanks, Paul. All right, my friends, we've got a decision to make. We could do another round of trivia, or we could just call it a night.